Welcome, guys. Welcome to Creative Effects. Like I promised, I said that I'm going to record a video about volatilities. So I'm going to talk about volatilities just a few minutes. But the most important thing is I'm going to be introducing a class. Maybe it's going to be a 1-week class or a 2-week class specifically for volatilities. But in general, today I'm going to talk about volatilities. So one thing that you need to know about volatilities is that they are very good instruments, high-paying instruments, in such a way that if you enter the way they pay, it's far much better than the way currencies pay, or rather other indices pay. So they're very, very, very good. But however, there are also precautions to them, because to be honest, they do hurt. Most of the times they take away more and they give out more. You find that sometimes even one candle with a very good lot size can pay you maybe $100 or $200, depending on your lot size. But when you go to currencies, you find that to get that $100 will take a lot of time. That's why you find most people, they make more money in derivative than they do in other markets. However, they also lose more money in derivative than they do in other markets. Okay, nonetheless, I promise you that I'm going to be focusing on only 5 instruments. The reason why this is so is because these are the only instruments that I trade. These are the only instruments that I trade. So, number one, you need to be disciplined when it comes to volatilities. You need to know what to trade and what not to trade. So you need to be really disciplined when it comes to volatilities. So what I normally do is I just tell myself, okay, these are the only 5 indices that I'm going to trade. Even if you come with another index or synthetic index that says maybe crash 500 is going to crash here, we're going to make money. If it's not part of my watch list, to be honest, I'm not going to take it. That's what I do, no matter how much money you make out of that synthetic index. If it's not part of my pairs, I don't touch. So that's the kind of discipline that I have. So that's the kind of discipline that you should also have, because we've got so many pairs and instruments in the market. Yes, you can analyze all of them, but when it comes to trading, you need to focus only on what you are trading or what you understand best. So for me, I trade V25S, V75S, V100S, V50S, and V100. That's why you find that even if you go to my channel, those are the only pairs that I trade. Of course, years back, I used to trade V75, Step Index. I used to enjoy those pairs, but then, you know, I then realized, no, let me just narrow down my scope of work, so that even when I analyze, at least if you ask me, where is V25-1S now, I'm going to tell you, okay, V25-1S, right now it's buying, it's supposed to do ABCD. When you ask me V75S, I'm going to tell you, okay, it sold today, it's buying, but I'm expecting maybe another sale. When you ask me V100-1S, I'm going to tell you, okay, V100-1S, right now it's on a buy, but it's supposed to sell. When you ask me about V100, I'm going to tell you I'm expecting a sell. So all these things, I'm saying them because I'm actually looking at very few charts. I'm actually looking at very few charts. That's the reason why I'll be focusing on the few instruments. Okay, now, I know a lot of you have seen me double accounts, triple accounts, take accounts to 1,000 from a very small amount of money. And most of you have been saying, okay, how do you do this? Of course, I'm going to come with a video of how I actually do it. But right now, I'm just going to talk a few things concerning these indices. Okay, right. Number one, when it comes to these indices, you need to know the direction of these indices. It is very important. I know these are basics, these are forex trading basics, but I'm just saying them again so that you understand how I trade volatilities. First of all, you need to know the direction. You might use trend lines as price action. You might use level counting, the BTMM way. You might use maybe order blocks, the ICT way. You might use Elliott waves, whatsoever strategy that you want to use. But the most important thing, know the overall direction of the pair. Now, if you get to know the overall direction of the index, it will help you to know the setups that you are expecting in that direction. It will help you know the setups that you're expecting in that direction. So what am I saying? I'm simply trying to say that if my trade is going in that direction, right, it means that I'm gonna be looking for setups in that direction. I'm gonna be looking for setups in that direction. This means that even if I get a sell, I'm not gonna take it. I'm just gonna wait for a buy. This is one of the most things that makes us lose when it comes to indices, because we always try and counter trade them. I know for some people, they feel comfortable doing that. It's fair and fine. But the most important thing is look for setups in the direction of the market. So you need to know where exactly are we going, where exactly are we now, and then you take setups in that direction. So first of all, choose a few pairs that you want to focus on. Number two, know the direction of those pairs. Where exactly are they going? Then you're going to take setups in that direction. You get the point now. You're going to take setups in that direction. Okay. Now, another important thing when it comes to these pairs or synthetic indices is London patterns. I know most of you have been asking me, but how do you talk about London patterns? Do we have those kind of patterns when it comes to volatilities? And I always tell people, every market has got London patterns. Every market has got market sessions. Every single market. There is no market without market sessions. Okay, that's exactly what you need to know. So what am I saying? I'm simply saying that even in derivative, we do talk about market patterns. But the only difference that is there when it comes to derivative and other markets is that derivative can also move even during Asian session. You can form a setup within the Asian session. You can form a leg within the Asian session. That's the only difference. So it's more like it's Asian, it's more like Asian pairs. That's how derivative behaves inside the Asian session. That's why you'll find areas like these ones here, whereby the dealer is actually moving within the Asian session. So derivative can do that. It can actually move within the Asian session, and you can actually profit within the Asian session. You can actually profit within the Asian session. So it doesn't do it all the time, but it does that. So you can actually profit within the Asian session. But however, most importantly, when I say a London pattern, I'm not saying that you now need to focus on, let me say, 8 o'clock going to 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. I'm not really saying that. When I'm saying London patterns, I'm referring to the three types of patterns that you have. For those who don't know them, we have a video. I think we have 2 videos on our YouTube channel concerning London patterns. You can go there and check them concerning London patterns. But briefly, when we talk of a London pattern, we are talking of a pattern that does this, and a pattern that does this, and a pattern that does this. You get the point. This is only when we are talking of a downtrend setup. But if we are talking of an uptrend, we are talking of this, and we are talking of this, and lastly, we are talking of this. So this is what we call type 3, type 2, type 1, type 3, type 2, type 1. So that's exactly what we mean. So depending with the direction of the market. If the market is going down, then we expect the M types. If the market is going up, then we expect the W types. So that is exactly what you need to look at when it comes to derive. You have seen me saying that, okay, plot a box, maybe up to 8 a.m., etc., etc., etc. That is exactly what we'll be talking about. We want to identify the London patterns. So most of you have been asking me, how do I put on the chart, etc., etc. So this is what you do. You come to the chart, just like it is right here. Let's say there is no Asian box like this. I'll come here and say, this is my candle number 1, this is my candle number 2, candle number 3, this is my candle number 4, this is my candle number 5, this is my candle number 6, this is my candle number 7. Now, how do I count this? Remember I said derive starts at 2 a.m. So we count from 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. So in other words, we are saying this candle is actually 2 a.m. All right. This is 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and 8 a.m. So it means I'm going to draw my box right there. Okay. I'm going to draw my box right there. Okay, let me just draw it rectangle so that at least it's not going to disappear. Okay. So that is exactly how I'm going to draw my box. Don't mind that my Asian session is actually not drawing the 2 a.m. candle. Yes, I'm realizing that as well, but well, nonetheless, it's not a problem. Right. So if I open the 15 minutes now, it means whatever candle that is within this box is 15 minutes activity. The candle inside the box is 15 minutes activity. So this is exactly what you are looking at. The candles that are inside the box is actually 15 minutes is actually a 15 minutes activity, an Asian activity. So you realize that my setup then appeared outside the Asian box. My setup appeared outside the Asian box. So I was going to take the cell there and go down with it. Okay, now we know the direction is a cell. So I'm expecting a sell setup and not a buy setup. You get the point now, right? So I'm not worried about what's happening inside the box. Sometimes the dealer can give us a first leg inside the box and then give us a second leg outside the box. It's still fair and fine. I'm going to take the setup as long as I'm now convinced that now we are moving. Or maybe sometimes when the 200 EMA is moving from there and the dealer does that, yes, I'm going to gladly take such setups. I'm going to show you such setups. See them. So this is exactly what happens. You can see the previous day here, we had the type 2 pattern. You can see there, this was our entry right there, type 2 pattern, outside the box again. Okay, consolidation there, but we could have even taken a sell setup there and up to there. You get the point. Same thing here. Could have taken a sell setup there up to there. If you were greedy, you would have taken this buy again from there up to there. Or maybe if you know what you are doing. But if you don't know, or you are still an amateur, then you would rather wait for a sell setup and ignore the buy setup. Look at this one right here. First leg and your second leg. So always gives us London setups. You can see here our setup appeared a day before, then the dealer went down. You get the point. The dealer went down. So that's exactly what happened on this day. I could have before if I had seen it and then go down with it. Same thing that happens here. I could have taken a sell there, maybe and be on a little loss from here to there, and then from there hold it into the next day or take it during Asian. I'm sure here our box was skipped because this is another day. So there's supposed to be a box here. So the best way to take the setup was to take it in the Asian box somewhere there if you were be awake. Okay, so I'm just trying to show you that these London patterns, they are there even in our deriv. They are actually there. Look at that. Look at the point. They're actually there. Look at that. The only thing you need to do is to know the direction, wait for the setup, and kill it. Simple. Even use this one as a leg as well. Simple. So I'm gonna do a class for volatilities and just I won't the same way I do my mentorship, but I'm just gonna charge a little cheap for a short time so that people learn how to trade volatilities. Look at that here. There was an Asian box here again, so this was our setup right there. We're not going to take the sell setup, we're going to only take the buy setups because here we are now talking about a buy, okay, right there again. So every day there is always a pair that shows us a London type setup. So I hope guys you understood and you enjoyed what I actually shared with you. So just go and practice it. I'm going to post another video again explaining further about these volatilities. I know most of you want to know more about these volatilities that I've been trading lately. So I'm going to show you, but please make sure you choose the volatilities pairs that you want to focus on. Okay, cheers guys. Have a good evening.